2, 1. We're live. We usually just start talking for a little bit while everybody gets in, drops in. So,
yeah, that way it don't look like it's all staged.
Yeah. So what's on the agenda today?
Your project.
You guys.
Your project. So we'll just ask some questions, and you guys just, we just go in about the project. It's all about you guys today.
Okay.
Oh, awesome.
Well, yeah, we do start off with like what you watching and stuff like that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot about. So we'll start off with what you're watching.
I was wondering. I know it all kind of, little small talk in the beginning.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, we'll definitely start with what are you watching? And don't ask me.
Oh yeah. But you're not watching that, TK? See, she just froze on us? I knew that. I knew that external was going to do it. you can't. Mobile ones are even the worst ones. TK,
I watched
you got Frozen.
Crazy Rich Asians on the plane again.
Hold on, you got Frozen on us for a while.
I know. I switched my internet. It hadn't switched over, so now I switched it over.
Oh, okay.
So I watched Crazy Rich Asians on the game. Hey, Tony. Hey, Darrell. So that was good. I like that. I really like that movie.
I haven't seen that one yet. Heard a lot about it.
You haven't seen Crazy Rich Asians?
Nah.
Like middle-aged white men love this movie. Like this movie is like awesome.
Mm-hmm. I liked it too when I seen it.
Yeah, it
is. I was like, you know how you watching a movie and in the middle of the movie you think, I'm gonna watch this movie again. Like it was just halfway through and I was already like, I'm gonna watch this movie again. So I really love that. I want to find a cartoon to watch since I'll be watching today and tomorrow. Mm-hmm.
Cartoon?
Well, not cartoon, but animation. So animation. Animation movies. So I'll find something to watch today or tomorrow. So, because that's it. I may go hang out a little bit, but nothing. Yeah. But watch movies and stuff, catching up a little bit on something.
Just straight up relaxing, huh?
Listen, I'm gonna be a beast on Monday. I'm gonna be like,
ready to go.
Uh-oh. She gonna be in attack mode.
Oh yeah.
Michael, what are you watching?
So what I've watched, I watched Raya and the Last Dragon on Disney. I watched. It was decent. It wasn't great, but it was good. It was all right. Then what else did I end up watching? The Bad Bunch on Disney, animation, Star Wars. Movies. I haven't thought about it. I was gonna rent Wrath of Man this weekend. That's what I was gonna do. So we're gonna look at that. Yeah.
That's the Hobbs and Shaw guy, right?
Yeah. Jason Statham. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I found a poster for that.
Yeah, I want to check it out. I was just telling myself, I said I gotta get once we sell this house. This home we had, then I'm gonna get back to filming and stuff, or get myself together because I need to get back into it.
Come on over. Come on.
Yeah, everything's done. Like grad school's done. All this stuff is done. Now I need to really get to filming. So I've been able to watch a lot of stuff for the past couple of months because COVID and everything. We're home more. So there's a lot of great content I've been watching. But I tend to started watching a lot of social media stuff too. A lot of content created on YouTube and Vimeo and Instagram and Facebook. So I think that's fairly interesting, to see like a lot of the content creators, because it's like you don't at this day and age, you don't necessarily need TV anymore.
Yeah,
and that's the beauty.
Me, that's all I've been watching is YouTube. I've been watching movies on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube. They've got free movies. Facebook been doing that too for some reason. Like all the companies have been playing their movies for free, old movies, but like it's free.
Yeah, because I watched the other day, which I hadn't seen in forever. That was still good, still fun. I watched Steps of Faith, which I hadn't seen in forever. Yeah, so I'm on YouTube watching creators, and all of a sudden someone will pop up and it'll say movie, and then I'll start watching a movie and I look up and I've wasted 2.5 hours. Like, wait a minute, I got to get back to work.
Yeah,
we gotta allow ourselves to, I said that before on the show, we got to allow ourselves to step into other people's creativity just for a second, and then get back to ours, because we get so wrapped up in what we're doing that we don't, sometimes we forget, wait a minute, I need to have fun. I need to relax. I need to enjoy myself for a second.
Yeah, so I can it's like that, because I was when I had an opportunity to get a sneak peek of that project, The Key. I saw a couple of techniques in there that I hadn't really, maybe I've seen before, but I hadn't really thought of.
Oh, and wow. Okay.
I was like, wow, okay. That was like a little mini masterclass. I picked up a couple of tips. He did a thing with a 2-shot that he was showing the characters, and I'm like, okay, so when he flips to the other angle, like, how is it going to be a close up? Is it going to be is he going to stay on the medium? How's he going to transition? And then the characters moved. The camera never moved. So I was anticipating, how he was going to do a camera move, but he did the 2-shot where he moved the characters into place, and the camera never moved.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was more of a real life type kind of scenario where, what you would experience in life. But I was like, oh, that's a cool transition without really kind of having to move the camera at all, but still keep the same intensity, and the characters just kind of switch places.
Blocking a long shot, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah, definitely. All right, let's get this show on the road. Let's do an introduction. Ready? Hey, let's make this happen. Hey, you're now hanging out with us at the Black Filmmakers Lounge, Saturday morning indie industry shop talk. I'm your host, Michael Melvin, my co-host, TaMyra TK Henderson. And today we have special guests, Michael Grayson and Tasha Edinbyrd. I hope I said it right. So we're hanging out. We're going to be talking about their project, Take Back the Crown, and how you can check it out and how you can see it. And you're going to get a glimpse of the trailer, but we're going to be talking about filmmaking, how they got started, and how they're making moves. So let's do this. Everybody, thank you for joining us at the Black Filmmakers Lounge.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning, Daryl.
Yes.
Tony. Yeah. So
we started in already, guys, right before the intro, talking about what we are watching. What are you guys watching? You always get to hear what we're watching. What are you guys watching? Let us know. Put it in the chat.
Yeah, put it in the comments. Put it in the chat. Let us know.
Maybe it's something we need to see. What'd you say, Michael?
Yeah, put it in chat. Let us know. Like, we gotta, we have to support each other and each other's content. That's what this is all about. Having that conversation to help other filmmakers, and as education of independent freedom and owning your own stuff. So in order to have that freedom, we gotta promote each other. We gotta see each other's work.
Definitely.
So
absolutely. So Michael, tell us, first of all, I know you have been in the film industry for a while.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your history and how you got started in film.
Wow. I got started shooting videos like right at the turn of the century, like 2000. I had a recording studio at one point, and I was managing a few artists, and we were paying for commercials and music videos. So I was just watching the guys that we had hired. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm kind of creative. This, I don't look really that hard, So I went, bought a camera, and I was gonna shoot my own video. So, of course, everybody thinks you just get the camera and you go out and you point it at what you want and that's it. I didn't think about, anything other than I got the camera. So I went to the Fry's, got the camera, got my guys, went out on the block. I'm shooting the video, and this guy pulls up in a Mercedes. He gets out and he's like, "What are you guys doing?" I'm like, shooting a video for these artists. So he stands around for a while. Once we finish, because at this point the whole neighborhood is coming out.
Right.
This is 2000 again. This is not now where everybody is videos everywhere. That was kind of a thing. So anyway, we shoot the video, and I'm getting ready to pack up and leave, and the guy comes up to me, and it happened to be George Lopez. He's like kind of a local legend here in Dallas, and he had he was getting a recording deal for his band he was managing at the time, and he was like, "Well, I'm throwing a party. Would you come and film my party?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "I'll give you $500." I was like, "Oh yeah, where's it at? I'll be there." So that really started. So I got the $500, went and got another camera, went and got her. We went to the party, videotaped the party, and I got a couple other gigs just from that party, and that really is what started it, really. And,
oh, wow. Okay, Tasha, so you do camera work too?
So technically, I'm still somewhat what they call a beginner. Mike is really good about kind of telling me and showing me what he wants me to shoot and how he wants me to shoot it. Okay. I have just now realized with this project, we kind of work really closely about understanding the duties of each person. So I can take his, criticism and, what he asked me to do. I can take it positively. So, and do kind of, what he needs. Because I know he can't be in all places at all times, and he can't be behind all the cameras. So whatever he asks me to do, I just do it because I trust him. I trust his eye. So, and that's kind of how we keep from clashing. So,
yeah,
she's
she's the PR person, chiefly.
Okay.
So, but as you know,
chiefly.
You need that. You need somebody to go step out and because. Like I said, I'm behind the camera a lot, or I'm fiddling with equipment, and that allows her to go over and talk to people and get the next gig. So
yeah. So I'm more the people person. People in my business. So I'm kind of, I'm one to make friends. Even just the fact that we started this project, a lot of the people that we sat down and we interviewed with, we actually have built good relationships with that we can still call on. Still have a great deal of respect for. So I'm kind of, once we kind of started doing the project, we kind of toned down on everybody's skills, so we can make sure we get the best project out of it. But not only that, to make sure that at the end of this project, that we're still together at the end of the project. So we wanted to make sure that everything would actually kind of flow and connect well. So
absolutely.
So yeah, I'm able to kind of concentrate on the technical or the technician side, and then that allows her to go and schmooze. The schmoozing job is a lot easier. It's less stressful. So she picked the long straw. I picked the short straw on that one at least. So it's
nice.
It gives a good balance. Definitely, good working relationship.
Good.
I wouldn't want to be with anybody else as far as
me either, babe.
No. So the project Take Back the Crown. How did you guys? What was the origin? How did you decide on this project? I mean, did somebody have an epiphany? Were you laying in bed and you were like, "Hey," How did this idea come up for Take Back the Crown?
The name came basically where, all my great ideas come from in the shower. that's where the name itself, the genesis of it, she started a website back in like 2010 or something.
Yeah.
And it was called Styling Black Hair. And it was going to be a website, a blog, and she put a lot of work into it, and the site crashed. Something happened, and all of her work went down the tubes.
Oh, wow.
And we were trying to kind of get it back, whatever, and we couldn't get it back. We were trying to work with the host, and for whatever reason, we couldn't retrieve the information. So they kind of torpedoed that part of, that was kind of the first genesis. So come back maybe 6 years later, she was going natural. We kind of started talking about that process. She was kind of on the fence, off the fence, on the fence, off the fence. And I was like, let's document it. So that was kind of the genesis of the project, but it changed as we went along, because I talked to a young lady that I had met online that worked for one of the bigger influencer companies, naturallycurly.com.
Okay.
Oh, okay,
that was the biggest, or probably still is, the biggest natural hair destination out there. So from there, we're just talking to her, and she was like, well, I'll do a little write-up or whatever. What is the project about? And I started telling her, I was like, well, we're going to come from like different points. For instance, we're going to come from the business angle. We're going to come from the culture and the cultural changes that are going on with natural hair. You're starting to see more people on television and in print. You're just starting to see that image more. So that's kind of where it morphs from, just talking about hair itself to the overall impact that it's having on the culture.
Okay. Anything you want to add, Tasha?
Yeah, we just kind of really wanted to shine a lot just really on the natural hair business itself, but not only that, just the community, because the natural hair community is gigantic. It sticks together. Just the fact that now you can't watch anything or see anything editorial wise and not see a naturalista somewhere. So we have now, we've made our mark, and we wanted to be able to show what that looks like.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So we started this. One thing I know, Michael, we were talking earlier when we were looking at the trailer. We started this as a feature-length documentary. This was going to be 90 minutes, and we talked to the people at Naturally Curly. We kind of pitched the idea to them just for a write-up on the blog. We just kind of wanted to kind of get the word out what we're doing. So as I'm talking to the owner at the time, Michelle Breyer, she was like, "Oh, I like this." She was like, "We're doing a big show in New York in a couple of months. Do you think you guys could come? And you'll get a chance really to meet all of the top influencers and the players in the business." So we were like, "Yeah, we'll be there." Had no idea how I was going to get there or whatever. I just said, "Yeah, we'll be there." And a couple of months later, we jumped on the plane, packed up the equipment, and went to Fashion Week. So this was going on during New York Fashion Week.
Oh, okay.
And
okay.
That first year, that's when Rihanna dropped the Fenty collection. The girl that was in 12 Years a Slave, she had a thing going on there. So it was a lot of excitement around that. I think it was 2018. Yeah, 2018 year for Fashion Week. And we went in September, and we got there, and it was amazing. It was way more than we thought. We thought we knew something about the natural hair and everything, but we had no idea. It like blew us away, and everybody was there. It was huge. It was Midtown, Manhattan. It was fabulous because it basically was a fashion show, a high-end, very high-end fashion show, starring all people with natural hair. And you had all these different.
Wow!
And they called it a texture on the runway.
Okay.
Yes.
And it was like, amazing.
Yeah, it was really like a couture natural hair fashion show.
Yeah.
Like it was on so many levels that I was like, oh my God, this is just hair. Like this was it was amazing. Just the color, the textures, the shape of women. Like I was like, oh my God, it was amazing just to be in a pool of that many beautiful, Black women, Black people, and it be on such a level that you really had to, rise to the occasion to even be a part of it. It was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, we were going there expecting, a little, kind of fashion show like we're used to seeing kind of here in Dallas, you got a smaller building and you go in and you got the little where you walk. No, this was a huge, this was at Gotham Hall, which is a beautiful, beautiful building there right down from Times Square. The stage was, 8 feet high. It was, 50 feet long. Stars, celebrities were in the audience, were in attendance. Getty Images was there. It was like a Vogue or something like that, a big couture show. So it was a huge undertaking.
What was your process? Like, how long did it take to film?
Wow.
Everything. Like, how many hours of footage? Because documentaries is a lot.
That was the first big show.
Okay.
That we did there at Texture on the Runway. So, and we didn't really film anybody there. We filmed the show. We talked to a few people, but the connections that we made there allowed us to kind of go forward. And we ended up with over 60 interviews. I filled a 16 terabyte drive up. So just think about that.
Yeah.
Terabyte.
So I definitely know, because I'm thinking about, like, if you're doing a feature film, I filled up like maybe, I don't know, a bunch of hard drives, probably about 6 or 7 hard drives, right?
Yeah.
But you're looking at a documentary, of course, you're already in the terabytes, and you probably have so much footage that you haven't even used yet. And that's the beauty about documentaries, especially the fact that you turned it into a series, because you can constantly repurpose your series and still go out, shoot more, and still have enough content to continue going.
Definitely. So yeah, that was the big, push to go series, because we just couldn't fit it into 90 minutes. We tried for months, and then we just came to the realization that this is not going to work really to tell the story that we want to tell, because there was so much information that not only that we were learning as we went, personalities were changing. Like we were meeting people that were kind of in their early stages of career change. Some people went on to do television shows, movies. We've got people from The Walking Dead. We've got people from we have a girl from The Resident. Okay. She was in a couple of Spike Lee movies. Just people that we were meeting along the way. We have Richelieu Dennis from Essence. He founded a Shea Moisture company that he sold during this time we were interviewing him and talking to him. Sold his company for over $1.5 billion. So there was some amazing stories and transformations going on at the same time. So
Tabitha Brown, you guys were able to interview Tabitha Brown. Yeah.
So we met Tabitha. I saw Tabitha on Facebook, and she had a nice following, but she had did a video about somebody touching her hair at her son's softball game. And that's what kind of attracted me to. I was like, oh, who is this lady? Then I started kind of following her a little bit, and I seeing like the engagement she was having online. So another woman we met in Austin, was it Austin? Killeen, not Austin.
Yeah, in Killeen, Texas.
Killeen, Texas.
Very familiar with Killeen.
Very familiar.
She was having an event, and she mentioned that Tabitha was going to be at the event. So we had already went down to another event she had months earlier, because I had been trying to get in touch with Tabitha, but of course, nothing. Radio silence, emailing, DMing, nothing. So then this lady was like, well, she's going to be at my show. Are you guys still coming? I was like, oh yeah, we'll be there. Actually, can I interview her?
Once Tabitha did that Whole Foods when she did the sandwich, she
yeah,
took off. Like she took off.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah,
a month before she got on TikTok, because that's what really took her across the line where she is now.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. I think she said she made her first TikTok video last March.
Yeah, and I interviewed her in February.
Okay.
Oh, right before.
She did that. She did a I can't remember the sandwich she got from Whole Foods, but like she was talking about it.
It was a tempura something.
And like Whole Foods hit her up and just boom, she just catapulted right there.
That was talking about her daughter and it was telling her to get on TikTok at the time, but she was like, that's for kids, and then like a month later I saw she got on and then she's been blessed tremendously.
Yeah.
But one thing I tell people about meeting her is that when I met her, when she walked in the room, she's just one of those people. You meet people or you see people and you just be like, they've got it. I don't know exactly what it is or how it's going to manifest, but she just had that glow just from
factor.
The it factor.
Yeah, she does. But I like her long videos too because she entertains. You know what I mean? So it's like some of the quick ones when you're looking up a quick recipe to make, it's like cool, but watch her long videos and
Oh yeah, her and Chance, man. Yeah.
Her long videos are so entertaining. Her and Sheena, they just
she's got something because Tasha was not able to make that particular trip. She had another engagement.
Oh.
But what I was telling her is that we interviewed Tabitha, and then I made probably the biggest mistake. Well, I'm not gonna say it's a mistake. It was out of kind of respect or whatever. But I turned the cameras off, and then I just talked to her for another hour.
Oh, yeah.
We just talked.
And you gotta leave it running.
Yeah, that conversation was amazing. But she we talked to her for like 40 minutes. So the conversation that we got on camera is great. But the off-camera conversation was just on another level.
Let me ask you this. I'm sorry. I had a thought pop up, so I gotta ask you this.
Sure.
What did you learn? Like, what mistakes did you make while you're doing your project that you learned from?
For me, technically, not enough B-roll. That's probably number one. And just the planning. I mean, a lot of times, and a lot of times it was out of our control. Right. Because we primarily were approaching this from primarily wanting to deal with the business people, the people that were making the machine run. So these are CEOs that are running companies. So it's not like they're just kind of, hey, I'm not doing anything today, come on down and, hang out. A lot of these appointments were set up, months in advance, canceled numerous times. God intervened several times on our behalf.
Several.
Because, there's some stories here that, are like kind of unbelievable how things, worked out in the end. But initially, it's almost like a movie, like end of the second act, all is lost. That happened a lot of times. And then, the hero emerges and we completed the mission. But yeah, it was some things there. But the big thing, like I said, not enough B-roll, because I hadn't shot a documentary feature before.
Right.
So there were some things I didn't really know.
I'm always curious of what you're learning along the way, because when you first step into this, especially, like I said, a documentary takes a life of its own. Like, I went to Haiti to do a documentary, and like the day we arrived, people had died. It was like stuff was happening. There was a huge flood, all this. And, you're thinking about the equipment. We're trying to drive in the dark in the flood, and we don't know if we're going to hit where we drop and we get caught in it or all this stuff. So, like, documentaries have a life of their own. They're not like a movie where you can perfectly play. Well, nothing comes out perfect, right? But documentaries, you can't just you plan something, but it doesn't necessarily go the way it goes. You just kind of like, I mean, it's really an outline. This is what you hope happened. So
it's really just a matter of just kind of being patient and being flexible, because stuff doesn't work out. You know, you say, hey, we're gonna shoot at this time, everybody be in this location, you get, you know, 10 to 15 minutes before you know you ready to start, oh, I can't come, I'm broke down, or just, you know, whatever. You just almost have to just be like, okay, so what can we shoot? So you can focus a lot more, you know, on that. Than that, then you'll have nothing. It'll just kind of be a day wasted. So, you know, y'all know, of course, in this business, you just have to be patient. That's first, because hey, they'll get to it, you know, to you when they can. It's just a matter of just kind of going with the flow and being okay with making the adjustments, and always be open to creativity, because you have to work with what you got in front of you at that time.
Definitely.
Absolutely. And now that we've been talking about it, let's show the trailer.
Show the trailer.
All right. Everyone will see what we're talking about as we continue the conversation. I'm going to grab my laptop charger.
All right, we're going to talk, and it's important because adaptability is one of those things too, right? So let's go to the trailer.
A woman's hair and what she chooses to do to her hair is an outward expression of a lot of things beyond just how she wants to wear her hair.
I think that women are just tired. Black women and our hair, it's just been a source of kind of like angst and stress forever.
Back when I was little, it's not like anybody ever told me my hair was ugly, but because I didn't see it represented in positive ways, I assumed that it wasn't good enough.
You know that our children are the only children that you can buy a kitty perm for. No other race of kids has a kitty perm. To tell them from birth, from the time that they are able to even comprehend that they're beautiful, that they have to change it.
I remember when, 15 years ago, or 20 years ago, or even as far as 10 years ago, when a black woman was going natural, right? It was a real conversation in her family.
When I first started in the hair game, I was an assistant to Johnny Wright, who was Michelle Obama's hairstylist. And he used to always have me do relaxer after relaxer after relaxer after. I'm telling you, in 10 years, I have not touched a relaxer.
I've been natural for over 20 years. I used to wear my hair in a nice little afro. I used to wear it big and curly like in the late 90s, right?
And I went from people giving them a card to, oh no, I don't want that, to going through a whole month and not seeing one natural head, to now, just walking in this, in the restaurant anywhere now, and out of, 10 people, 8 of them are natural.
What are my thoughts on hair tightening? I don't like it. To me, it's just the new version of dark skin, light skin.
And it's absolutely true that fair skin with a looser curl is focused on.
There's a little bit of a war going on between the two. And the light skin, dark skin, good hair, bad hair, it's still going on within our natural community.
It is a swag to it, because when my hair is straight, I feel cute, like, oh my gosh, I flip it a little bit. But when my hair is like this, when I am my natural self with my natural hair, nobody can tell me nothing.
A woman's hair and what she chooses to do to her hair is an outward expression of a lot of things beyond just.
Are we good? We back. There we go.
That last statement when she said when my hair is like this, nobody can tell me nothing. That part right there, I was like, yes, that's what. Okay, yes, okay.
Yeah,
isn't it amazing awesome. just with women, a lot of times, because we have just over the years have, permed, weaved, and done all of these different great things to our hair. But when we get an opportunity to see what our real hair looks like going straight out of our scalp without any kind of manipulation, and you fall in love with that hair, it's like, oh my God, it's almost like a new awakening. You almost get a whole new sense of what beauty really is to you, though. Not to everybody else, but to you.
Yes.
Can I?
And people appreciate it. When I cut off my hair, when I went natural and did the big chop, it was like, huh, okay. And then I dyed it at first. I dyed it like an auburn color. And it was like everybody was just like, oh my God. I'm like, and it gives you that boost of confidence. And then when I dyed it this color, I left the house and I got like 6 phone numbers. I said, no, okay, hold on. I was like, now hold on now. We're going to slow this roll. But I mean, everywhere I go now, it's like, I love your hair. Oh my God, I love your hair. I mean, people excited when they see my hair. And I kid you not, they get energy. Like people pass me in the store, they always like your hair. And I have to look like, who was that? Like, it's like it gives whole new energy, and it's crazy how much people really appreciate it. People, in all races, really all races, I get it, and they just really appreciate your hair.
Yeah, it's almost like falling in love with yourself like every day, because you put something on and it just really compliments it and it really pops, and then you get up and just if you have one of those those good curls, in my case it's normally coils, but they still look good and they be popping and they be moisturized, and you just be like, whoa, this is it. So it's just, just getting a chance to look at yourself, and you feel fresh every day. It's like that, that cut, and you be like, yeah, that's what's up with it.
And I think it's timely. I think it's the topic is it's we talk about it, but I think it's timely, especially with this situation about the bonnets and stuff like that, because I always tell people, who taught you who you were? Who taught you what was right? Who, your colonizers taught you this, so when you got to start thinking differently for your own people and for your sake, and restructure and redevelop our culture. And so projects like this start that movement, gets people thinking, because the more we see it, I remember seeing the film from Chris Rock, Bad Hair. It was good hair. Yeah, good hair. And
good hair. Yeah, that was
the movie was bad. The other one was a horror movie. Okay, so but it's important to respect yourself and be fine with your natural self, because unfortunately, and this is around the world, the colonizer has taught you to accept their view of you. To where we do things that are damaging to our skin, to our hair, to our bodies, to look closer to what they deemed was the perfect image or beauty, and took away from us what our original mindset of beauty was and is, it should be. So when we start thinking differently, we have to unlearn. And like I said, I love projects like this because it helps us start to unlearn and learn who we are and accept who we are,
Identify your own beauty for yourself.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We have to make sure we bring awareness. We also wanted to make sure that people understood, with the natural hair business, it's $1 billion business. People may not know that. They may see all the products on the shelf, but it's so many more products that are created that are not even on the shelves. Yeah, as far as a Walmart or Sally's or whatever, but we're doing it. Like it's phenomenal. I mean, every single year there's like thousands and thousands of brands being created right in someone's kitchen. We are we're the trendsetters.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we really wanted to do with this project. We didn't want to do another quote unquote hair, talking about hair. We're that's kind of the thing that brings you into it. But what we really want to highlight is innovation, the
yeah.
opportunities, you know, like she said, it's a multi-billion-dollar business. Why aren't we sharing in that when it's primarily us as a people that's, you know, 95% of the customer base, but we're not fully sharing in, you know, that whole thing. Or like in the trailer when the lady says, you know, we're the only race of people that starts perming kids' hair, putting chemicals in at 2 and 3 years old.
Right.
So the child is getting confused even at that early age, like, well, you know, little Johnny across the street, he doesn't have a, or she doesn't have a just my, you know,
just
sperm, or, you know, or whatever the case may be. Why am I getting one? You know, like you said, we're telling them, you know, at an early age that you're not good enough, or you're not the right this, or you're not the right that. So we love how the movement has blossomed from when we started, because this has been a 4-year journey. You know, we're going in our 4th year on this, you know.
Wow.
So just to kind of have it out here. And the times have, you know, as far as timing, the times have just kind of kept up with what we're doing.
Right.
So it's been, you know, this is going to be an evergreen type project. You know, we believe that it's never really going to go out of, it's not going to fall out of fashion, because this is, you know, like I said, 400 years, this is the thing that you can go back as far as, you know, when we first arrived on the shores, that there's been a problem with our look, whether that be whatever.
Just how they keep you out of, I'm just going to be real. Just how they keep you out of the weave business when our people buy the weaves from Africa to here, that they're buying those weaves, and you can't even start a weave company and be distributor or anything. They have it locked down.
Yeah.
And so a person of color, and I'm talking about us, right, can't get into it. And yet we're spending the money on it.
On it, yeah, definitely.
And so that's why I said, for us, our culture, we got to separate that and be empowered. And I love stuff like this because it's empowerment. You know, it's like, hey, love your natural hair, love who you are, and choose. It's your choice. At the end of the day, it's all your choice. But when you're empowered, and this is a business we can lock everybody else out of if we choose to. We don't have to, but we can, because it's us. It's our thing. Yeah. There's plenty of cultures that you can't just step into their culture and start selling them their stuff, you know? Yeah. And so we have to think differently.
Or even if we stop buying, there's no longer a business.
Right. Because that's $1 billion. That hair weave, that relaxer, that's like billions of dollars. Yeah. It's an infrastructure is there. And we're not truly a part of that infrastructure. But here, our own selves, when we accept ourselves, we have our own infrastructure, and that's when we change the game. Even on film and stuff, like producing and creating content, telling our stories. I hear filmmakers always complain, you know, oh, they do this, they got this person. Well, if you keep making content and start making content that's more reflective of our people, and it can be positive and negative, because you got a balance of things, but how you want to see our image. I don't complain about another man's film. If I got a problem, I'll go make my own. And that's the power I know I have, that we all have. And so it's no point in saying, oh, I hate the image they show us all the time. Well, for what? Make your image. Like it's not complicated. The times have changed. And I just believe on the filmmaking side, you guys are doing it. You've been empowered. You went out, you're talking about being innovative, being natural, being who you are, and showing a different image of ourselves, and having that platform where we get to speak, where our women are speaking and our brothers are speaking about being our natural selves and the hair. And then you're building that, you're going to build that construct, because somebody else will watch and be like, you know what? I like that. So that's influence right there.
Yeah. You know? And there's plenty, like I said, you know, that was the impetus with us going through the docuseries route as opposed to just the one feature film, because even when we got to the business, when we talk about the business of hair, I had like maybe 8 hours of footage just about just that. So to be able to put that down to an hour, 2 30-minute episodes to get that point across, that was amazing. And the founders and the brand owners were basically just sharing with us that no one was out, especially when we started. Things have kind of changed now with Me Too and the George Floyd, tragedy. Things have kind of opened up where now the Black woman is, lifted up in certain areas, not across the board, but there's certain, now we want to partner with you. Now we want to give you this. Now we want to give this opportunity. And, for better or for worse, the Black woman is the main recipient of that largesse, that's coming out. So when we started this thing, that was one of the questions that we asked back in, 2018. Where's the Black woman as a brand? Where does she kind of fit into this whole cultural shift? And we know that the Black woman is the trendsetters. Everybody is following her lead. Now you may not see that plastered on a billboard, but just look around. Open your eyes and look around. You see it, from the hoop earrings, to the braids, to the dress style, to so many things that we see that we've been doing. We've been seeing in the community for decades and years. Now all of a sudden, somebody else may grab it a little bit and shine a little light on it. Even the big thing with TikTok with the dances, where there's a big controversy about, they had the white kids on the shows, flying them in and their families, but it was the Black kids that were actually creating the dances. And the white kids just kind of learned to dance, just Elvis the whole thing, kind of got pushed out. So we're trying to shine a little light more on the opportunities and the innovations and the millionaires and billionaires that are being minted on this natural hair thing, and what we need to do to bring more of us in, because there's a boatload of money out here in this thing. It's not, the cultural impact and and feeling good about yourself. That's all important and great, but there's a lot of money out here.
Yes.
To be made on this thing too. So we want people to understand that too, that the business part of this thing, if we get more involved in it, we can make more, and then we can venture into other avenues with that money, because that's kind of we talked to Rich Dennis, and that's really what he did. He took his company, he was an immigrant, he came over here fleeing Civil War, him and his family, started on the streets of Harlem just selling soap, and within 15 years turned that experience, which a lot of people will look at as a negative, into a $1.5 billion sale of his company. And then taking that money and reinvesting it back in the community. He has his New Voices Fund, where he's funding new Black entrepreneurs. And he bought Essence Magazine, brought that back Black owned, giving brothers and sisters opportunities. So, we wanted to showcase that, to say, there's money everywhere, but we can take some of the money that we're making on some of the cultural things and push them back into other businesses and just, lift the whole boat.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
When you think about the film side of things, even writing characters that are natural, and so that resembles people more into your story. And then you get products in your film from these companies. It's about product placement. We have to have those discussions, because every business is going to grow the other business. It does it in every community. As somebody who makes a movie, Coca-Cola is sitting on the counter. There's a reason Coca-Cola is sitting on the counter. There's a reason that hair product is sitting there on their counter, or they're using it in the film. There's a reason someone talks about permanent hair in a movie, because that company's investing in that. So we have to take that and utilize it for ourselves if we're going to, got a natural hair character. I think I was watching an episode of Survivor's Remorse by LeBron James, and they had an episode where the wife of his cousin, who was his manager, was trying to hire darker skinned women because they weren't getting the jobs. They weren't getting the modeling for the videos and the commercials and stuff. And it almost became discriminatory in a sense, but she was trying to make a point, because she stepped in the room and was like, wait a second, y'all got white and light, like, what's up? and so, and that's the thing. But some, one of the women said, hey, the model they did hire, she couldn't make it. So she gave me the opportunity because she had another gig. So it's just, we got to make sure we balance it and do it for the right reasons. And this is why I was thinking like earlier, while I was watching it again, I was like, this whole bonnet issue. I was like, wait, white people were wearing bonnets forever on Little House of Prairie. What you tripping about? Like, are you serious? But we tend to, again, because we don't have an idea of self and culture, and this is great to bring that forth. Now we have the opportunity to start building our culture. Now we have the opportunity to start building our businesses and pushing each other's brands within. Because filmmakers, we are a business that promotes other businesses. We're media.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, even when you mention that, we tackle the legislative component. There's so many layers because we have the Crown Act, which is a lot of people look at it and like well, what, I don't understand what's going on. It's like you have people discriminating based on what is quote unquote professional or not when you're coming into a job. If you have maybe locks or if you have natural hair and you come in to get a job interview, you could be highly qualified or overly qualified, and people are like, well, I don't know if you'd be a good fit, or these kind of vague terms that we know what they're saying, but it's like now we got to put legislation in place to stop something that's ridiculous. But that's part of it too. I talked to people that were in the military. Tasha was in the military. We talk about the military code as far as different ways you can or cannot wear your hair. You need to but the people that you're possibly fighting against, that's over in wherever across the sea, are they telling their soldiers, or well, you can't wear your hair?
They're not going through all that. They need hands to be out there to fight. They don't care.
So there's so many layers that we try to touch upon. So that was, like I said, again, that was one of the reasons that we wanted to kind of go into the series route, because there's just so many things that this touches on.
Yeah. No, I love it. Because there's a question along one of my friends asked. He said, "Who taught you how to be black?"
Yeah, yeah.
Who taught you?
There's this is a weird. I watched this movie last night. I'm just gonna give a plug to this indie that I just stumbled upon. It's called Holly Won't.
Okay.
I saw it on Tubi, and it's really kind of almost a retelling in a way of Hollywood Shuffle, but more of a modern. It follows a screenwriter that pitches a project and it gets picked up by a production company in all of the ways that they change it. It's very funny if you're in the business.
No, I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, because it was. I like stuff like that because I think there was a movie with Isaiah Thomas and somebody else, something September, and it was always about TV shows, and they were trying to make a black TV show. It was an HBO produced movie. And then of course Bamboozle and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely check that out.
Holly Won't.
Holly Won't.
Yeah, when Michael hit me up last year and he was like, TK, can you check this out? And I knew they had been working on it. He was like, give me your thoughts and this and that. And I watched what he sent me and I was like, oh my God, this is what you've been working on? I was so blown away. I kid you not. I was so blown away. I was like, this is absolutely amazing. Look, I got tears in my eyes now talking about it. I was blown away. I was like, this is awesome. I cannot wait for the world to see it. I cannot wait for this is I was over the moon. I feel like
we've gotten a lot of great
I was so happy. I was like, this is amazing. I'm definitely a big fan of you guys for sure. I may not say it all the time. I am definitely a big fan of you guys and what you're doing. And I'm glad you were obedient and stepped out and did this, because it is huge. And like you said, this is going to be one of those projects that we'll look back on 400 years from now, like you said, and people will get to see this. And by then it'll be so normal, you know what I mean? Which is great that it'll be like, well, why should I watch that? It's just like, it's history, watch it. It's history. It's like, it's part just shift, this whole shift in this part of history. And like you said, when you go into the business side and influence and the cultural appropriation and even the hair types, when they talk about the hair types, they were like, oh, it's the light skin, it's like light skin versus the black skin. I was like, oh, and I was like, hair type was, so I can brought a product that would complement, because I thought, I was thinking the product what you buy would complement. But, and we talked about this a few weeks ago about how people are like, I don't want to see Black trauma movies. I don't want to see Black slave movies. And we were talking about the balance of everything so people will understand history,
right.
And this is part of that. This part of this shifting in this history where you're taking us to the past, how with the kitty perms, all the way up into today. And, all aspects of this industry dealing with us as a people, telling the story and telling the history and the future through film. So,
we wanted to really let the people that were kind of at the forefront of this movement kind of tell their story, because initially that's a lot of the feedback that we were getting from a lot of the brand owners and the founders were like, well, nobody has really asked us, to kind of tell the struggles and the triumphs kind of going through this. It was always about, well, my hair is my hair going to be nappy, or is am I going to be able to wear this to work? Or it was so much about the hairstyle, as opposed to, we wanted to touch on what is the hair once you made the commitment or once you made the decision to go natural, what changes have occurred in your life as a whole, as far as work, your spouse, how you feel about yourself. Women were talking about spending all day Saturday at the beauty salon. That stopped, and talking about the amount of money they were spending and having to go to the beauty salon every couple of weeks.
So you got your time and your money back.
Exactly.
Not the money, not necessarily the money.
Yeah, I'm with TK. Not necessarily the money, and not really
not necessarily the money, but the time for sure.
Yeah, and not really necessarily the time per se.
Not even time. Yep.
Yeah, because you still spend time. Yeah, on your wash day. It just depends on because if you somebody that's got like high density hair, a quick wash may not be a quick wash.
No, Mrs. Melvin washes it. It lasts about a day. She let it dry and all that stuff. She doesn't get perms and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's natural, right? Yeah. So and then you see those ladies with the hair, like some long, pretty natural hair, when they wear, and they got to tame it all back there. Yes, absolutely.
The last part of the thing we wanted to really touch on, we touched on the business, we touched on we have a whole section on social media, which that's really what pushed this thing to the point that it is now. Because we had the Say It Loud movement in the 60s, the Black hairs, it was more of the natural. So, not so much natural hair, just the natural. Just let your hair go out, let it be wild, let it do what it do. And when the ladies came back, for this next phase, it was more about what can we do with the hair to make it stylish? What can we do with the hair to make it, fashionable? What can we do with the hair to make it more acceptable and where I will feel beautiful? And it's more than just one style, the Afro.
Right.
So, we kind of picked up on that portion of it, and we didn't really want to go with the Black Power thing, because we felt that that kind of had been talked about. I'm not gonna say enough; it's never enough, but it had been talked about and presented in other projects, and no one was really talking about the big culture shift that was happening right in front of us.
Okay.
We really kind of wanted to expand on the versatility of the natural hair. Because not everybody likes afros, but not everybody likes twist.
Right.
People love Bantu, but not everybody loves Bantu knots. So the great thing about, our hair is so versatile that we can do that. That's why TK can have this beautiful color in her hair, but still can put on a suit and just slay it like there's no tomorrow. So we just kind of wanted to, you know, kind of show how the hair, it speaks so much. You don't even have to use physical words. It just does what it does.
Yeah, it follows you in the room, whether that be a giant afro or a Caesar or a crew cut. You know, when a woman comes in with that cut or that hairstyle that is not what you're expecting, the attention automatically shifts over to her in a room. You know, we had the woman on we interviewed that's the world's biggest afro, Guinness Book of World Records, Avon Dugas, and she was talking about all over the world with her hair. You know, so it opens up so many opportunities in discussions, even like you're saying, the discrimination, the light skin, dark skin, the good hair, bad hair. That's still a conversation within the community itself. The hair texture, the long loose curls opposed to the real kinky, you know, like when I was coming up, the old folks used to say, "Can't you, don't you?"
It's coily. It's coily.
Yeah, you know. So, but we didn't really want to beat that horse as far as, you know, slavery and what they did, and you know, they, you know, stopped us from wearing our hair a certain way. The audience for this film kind of understands that notion. So we felt that kind of beginning story was already built into the culture.
Right.
So we all kind of know. I
need you to say something one more again. The what of this film? That key word you said. The what of this film?
You lost me. I'm just talking.
I'm sorry, brother. You said, okay, for our listeners, you said audience, because you know, we're about knowing your audience. Okay. And what happens is in film, a lot of filmmakers will make a project and they think it's everybody, or they'll go, oh, everybody will watch this, anybody watch. And you went in with a mindset of you already have a specific audience that your project is geared towards, you know. And so I always like to reiterate that, because in order for people's projects to be successful, you got to think about your audience first. Who's your audience? How you gear your project to your audience? How you going to advertise and promote to your audience? It's not a big audience, but it can grow. Definitely. Because your audience carries the buzz for you. Yes. You know, a lot of people don't realize that. And so one of the big things about us, we're always trying to educate and inform people how to get their project started, what to focus on when they're starting their projects. That's why it's so important, your process of what you went through producing the documentary. One of the questions I had, how many episodes have you done, or are you doing? Like, how many seasons and episodes are you looking at?
Well, now this has changed. We started, it was 4 1-hour episodes. Okay. So we went with the process, which is the whole process of going natural. And then once you go through the process, you know, we brought in the business. So now we've gotten the business, and then we go to social media and that cultural impact. And then the last thing was free the fro, which is, you know, the law and, you know, how that impacts the culture with the military and you know, the legislation and everything that's going on. And then we just embowed that with, where is the Black woman now with this newfound, what's the word I want to use?
Kind of free. Well,
freedom in a way, but this newfound respect in a lot of ways out here in the world, because now the focus is on her. Right. I know there's a lot of challenges. There's still a lot of things we need to do across society, but right now, in a lot of aspects, the focus is on the Black woman.
The lights are on. You can no longer not see her and acknowledge who she is and what she brings. So the light is on. So now it's like, hey, we all the way in this thing. So let me show you who I am and what I'm about and what I'm doing.
Exactly. Because she's been here, but she hadn't been in the light. So it's easier to take things in the dark. But when the light is shining, it's kind of hard to say, oh, I thought of that. Well, no, I saw such with that, or I saw this person with that. That's not your thing. You can praise it, you can imitate it, but let's not steal it and try to claim it as yours.
I know that. Yeah. I understand that.
Absolutely. And you did, so you're working on distribution deals right now? Is that correct?
Yeah, we can't really talk a lot about it, but we've got a few places and people that you'd be familiar with that are looking at it now. We're hoping the best, but we're prepared if we have to self-distribute. We can go that route also.
Okay.
So you're more in negotiations right now.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why you can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We put a substantial amount of money into this thing. So we want to make sure that we get our budget back, and we pay off our investors that had faith in us for the vision to be able to go out, because there was a lot of traveling and equipment purchase and
So let me ask you this:
traveling.
What was your So, and you don't have to give the exact numbers. That's why I like the word estimated, because you don't share exact numbers. But what was your estimated budget for this project?
This project is north of $250,000.
There you go. Because I see the quality, because I'm sure you shot it and you went back and you did some things and you looked at stuff. And then when you look at the trailer, because you have the graphics and effects in there, the titling, all that. So, and you probably have even much more in every episode. So it's costing you. And then I don't know if you're editing, because again, on the independent side, some of us edit ourselves, and then we bring somebody in to do the other stuff. And then, or in others, hire editors, and graphic designers. So I don't know which process you went by. What was your size of your crew or staff, or was it just you guys?
It was primarily us, but it changed depending on where we were going, who we were meeting, what type of presentation we needed to make for that person.
Okay.
So it went anywhere from as many as 5 or 6 people to just me and her. It's just like and then on one instance it was just her. We took a trip to try to convince someone to be in the film, and that I'm not gonna say it didn't work. Just the timing was not right. But that was an expensive endeavor, and she got a chance to have all the fun. I couldn't go.
But okay, so did you get them in the film, or you didn't get them?
They're in there, but not in the way that we wanted them.
Okay.
But
It didn't pan out totally the way you wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Got you. Yeah.
And that was a lot of like I said, it was a lot of dealing with assistants and staff, and one of the biggest takeaways I've learned is that and this probably is true for any genre that you're going to do. Once you get to the person, it's so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
It's just getting to the person is very hard at times.
Yes.
But once you get to the person who's the subject or whoever you're trying to talk to, yeah, sure, whatever, but breaking through those gatekeepers is, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Gatekeepers are earning their money out here. Trust me.
They are earning their money. That's for sure.
Yeah, because there's a few people. I'm sorry.
No. I was just reading one. Tony Brown was saying be open to corporate companies to sponsor as well. There is big budgets in reserve for independent films, which is interesting. Somebody mentioned that to me as well, and I needed to look into that. But the fact that you guys are in negotiations, you're just at the point where you're negotiating the amount per episode so you can get the money back, because you already have all the footage and everything you need right now.
You made the initial investment.
So everything's been invested in. So that is a blessing, definitely. So you guys just got to finish cutting. I'm sorry, guys. I came back home from Dallas and I had some nets, and so I've been working on these traps stuff, trying to get them. And it's fun. I guess these lights are drawing the last two that are in the house because I've killed like all the other ones. But yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else we haven't touched on. Anything that we haven't mentioned that you guys did want to talk about in regards to the project or the filming process?
I would just say, as far as when Michael was talking about the audience, to anybody out here who's going to be going to try to, especially with a doc, because most documentaries, you're going to niche down to some, very specific type of thing. Yeah, find out, who is the audience, where the audience hangs out, and try to reach some of the influencers of that audience. That was one of the first things that we kind of did. We had a whiteboard. We wrote down, the first 20 people that we definitely knew we wanted to have in the film. I gave that list to Michelle over at Naturally Curly, and she looked at the list and she said, "I don't know any of these people. Who are these people?" And then she gave me the real list.
Oh, wow. Okay. But see, and again, you have, because you probably, I don't know, I haven't been to your home and nothing like that, but you guys do work, you work out of your home, right? Because I got in my home, my office, I got a whiteboard, I got all this stuff, and you start writing. I got a blank wall so you can put the 3x5 cards up or the sticky notes, and you start outlining and planning your production out and stuff. And it's so interesting because I'll meet a new filmmaker and I'll be like, get a whiteboard. Why? Why do I need one? They're cheap, man. Just get one because you need to write on it. You need to outline your stuff and you need to visually step back and see it. And a notebook is fine, but you're flipping pages and you need to see things because even when you're editing, it's visual. You're chopping it up in front of your face. So as a filmmaker, you're visual. And so your process needs to be visual. So yeah, hearing that and what you went through. What about editing? You talked about getting equipment. So what was that process like? How did you figure out what equipment would work best for your project?
Well, I knew I wanted to capture in 4K. Even if I didn't deliver in 4K, I wanted to capture in 4K. And then, from other things that I had been shooting, I knew I could do some manipulation. If I delivered in 1080, I knew I could do some, panning and scanning and digital, slides and things like that. So before we went to New York, I bought a couple of cameras to take with me, 4K cameras, and I've only bought one other camera since then, and I ended up not using it because the feel didn't match up.
Okay.
So
the cameras didn't match with each other.
Yeah, the cameras didn't match up. Yeah. I shot some footage and I was like,
so what camera did you use? I know people ask these questions, so I don't worry about cameras, but what camera did you use for your production?
I used a Panasonic GH5.
Okay. Very familiar.
And I connected that to like an Atomos recorder. I was able to get, ProRes 422 HQ, footage. Somebody suggested when I first started that I shoot RAW. I'm glad I didn't take that advice because, once I started cutting and I bring in other editors to cut and work with people. I realized
you gotta understand, to work with RAW, you need to know proxies.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, RAW's not for everything. Like every product or every project doesn't require the greatest camera in the world, right?
Exactly.
Because once you understand lighting and setup and your location, then you're already gonna capture what you need. And documentaries, we're on the go. Those things are fast. So you need cameras that you can pick up and move if you're walking with somebody, so you need things that can be handheld as opposed to somebody trying to do a feature film. They may be able to, do the whole rig and all that stuff, but that's not what you need. You need something where you can interview, catch a B-roll. One person's right here interviewing, somebody go out and capture what's going on in the event while the interviews are going on, things like that. So
yeah, a lot of that. And then, even a lot of the people that we interviewed, when we would show up with like 3 people or 4 people, they would be like, "Oh, so where's the rest of your crew?" And I'm like, well, this is it. But once they saw the end result, they were always amazed.
Yeah.
And the biggie is audio. So I come from an audio background. So, that's a lot of people were kind of concerned about, well, are you trying to, if you're trying to capture this, is the audio going to be okay? I know I talked about Richelieu Dennis over at Essence. His team was really adamant about, that, trying to capture somebody at an event or something like that, and how is it going to sound? And I was telling them, oh, we got a suite. We're gonna take him, from the event to the suite, and we have it all set up. And it's gonna be a 60-minute style kind of interview or whatever. And then they were relaxed at that point that that was going to be the capture mode. So just a whole bunch of crazy stories like that. We're actually looking at doing a accompanying book with this also.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we're kind of looking into that, like a big picture book. That's something.
Okay. Like a coffee table book or a photography magazine. Okay.
Exactly.
Nice.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys watch the Black Filmmakers Lounge on a regular, but we talked about that, about the importance of cross-promoting products from your work to build the extra income and for different things. Because we were talking about turning your script into a novel or doing a children's book and having animation. And we always discuss that, or some product that comes from your film that you can sell or create or make, other than t-shirts, because that's a good one too. But you want other things, because I did something. We did I Am was a web series, and we had a counselor throughout it, and we made journals that we were going to put out to sell to people. But we paused the season. We're gonna come back though, but we paused for a minute, and but we had all that planned out. Like, what could you put out there to make extra income, especially to make up for money you're losing through production if you're financing it yourself, or to cover production if you're financing it yourself as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, definitely.
And
are you guys going to do a premiere? Are you guys going to do a premiere like the first 2 episodes?
We're thinking about it. We've been asked. We'll kind of see how COVID kind of shakes out. We're in the last stages of it, and then also what these some of the partners that we're talking with now, what they think. There's been some back and forth about that, like how many people have seen the project already? Has it been in festivals, et cetera, et cetera? Some people are real sensitive around that. But we were looking at, or we still are looking at, educational aspects of this, because
absolutely,
ones reach out to us, and people that do pop-ups and these type of experiential events, saying hey, this would be great for something that we're working on. So,
Tasha, you do the marketing and PR stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you guys, and because this popped in my head, like, so y'all hitting hair expos and stuff, and are you gonna showcase it there?
Yes.
Okay. I'm thinking like, wow.
Yeah. And I know you guys will be in Atlanta then, so I'm not even worried about it. And I'll put my shirt on. Gotta order my shirt. I'll be there with my shirt.
Atlanta was one of our in our top 5. Not our actual top, like 1 or 2, but it was actually part of our 5. So we kind of narrowed down some cities that we want to make sure that we hit. So
yay! That's awesome. Thank you guys for being here. I mean, with this awesome project, we are so excited. I know like I said, I keep saying I'm super excited about it and the future of it. And yes, it's so glad you guys came on to share it with us.
Thank you.
Do you guys
for having us? Michael, I really kind of want to, if I can, I want to hear something about the journal that you were talking about. I thought that would actually be awesome.
Well, what we did
when you get a chance to circle back.
Oh, okay, yeah, because what I Am, we just had it where people can write a journal about their situations or things that help them reflect on themselves in their life. Because in the web series, there's 2 young women who are journaling their situations, and we just built it from there. So it's kind of like there's a lot of things you can do for your film. You kind of sit back and examine your projects and see how it works. Like I did a film musical called Whatever Happened to Us. And people were like, yo, you should have a Whatever Happened to Us getaway weekend. And people see the movies for married couples and stuff. But TK and I kind of talk because I'm going to revamp it and make it a feature film and take the musical aspect out. But you know, you kind of look at what can you do with your film, especially if you're not getting the distribution deals, that you can promote it to get it out there and get people either to buy it, you know, because you can sell your stuff through Vimeo, Patreon, all this stuff, especially series. You can keep the series coming through a Patreon. People just pay like $1.99 a month and just watch episodes or whatever. Or there's plenty of platforms that we have, like you got Quale TV, you have Tim Reed's doing Legacy. So, you know, to know what we own and then go say, hey, let's talk, you know? So I always say, sit back and look at how can you market your project and then get it in different places where somebody goes, oh, let me see that. And I think one of the biggest conversations my dad had with me when I did my first feature film, Broken, was, you know, a lot of people might not see Broken, but they'll see the next movie you make and the next movie you make. And then they'll go, wait, he made another project? Let me go check that out. So don't get hung up on if this project's not getting as far as you want it right away, because oftentimes people go back. And I remember when Vin Diesel first came out, people started going back and looking at Wild Style because he's breakdancing in it. You know, it's like, wait, he was in that? And they go look at Boiler Room and like, wait, he was in that? Oh, he was in this movie? And so when, you know, don't get hung up that you don't get the audience right away, because anything can happen. Like right now, because of COVID, there was movies that flopped in the theater, but are like on the top 10 on Netflix.
Yeah.
Like a couple Arnold Schwarzenegger movies and some others, like they flopped. And now all of a sudden they got this buzz. Sabotage is one of them. Yeah. And so we often forget that, hey, don't be discouraged. Don't be in despair. People will go back and want to see what you've done before. You know, and you also see another thing. Like I believe as a filmmaker, your first project will never look like your last project. Your work just gets better and better and better. You know,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
We will say, you know, the community has been super, super supportive. The hair community. The phone has been ringing. We're just trying to make sure that we give this little project of ours the best opportunity to get out to the most, you know, amount of people possible. But you know, like we said, you know, if we do the self-distribution route, I'll give a little plug. We both read the Entrepreneur book by Alex Ferrari.
Oh yeah.
A lot of things that you're talking about. So that kind of gave us ideas for a lot of things. But yeah, people in the community, the audience that we made the project for are very excited. They're, you know, like TK, the Eddies, so many people that have kind of championed us and helped us along as on the journey. So we're right at the final stages, almost ready for liftoff, and we appreciate people like yourself, you guys bringing us on, getting the word out, but we're gonna hit the ground running hard here very short.
Oh, we're here. We're here for it. Yeah.
Nice. Are we ready for our gems, Michael?
Yeah. So what we do is we drop a 1-minute gem. You got 60 seconds to drop a gem to your audience, or jewel. Gem is such the Clubhouse thing, but you drop a jewel.
Oh, jewel. Okay, jewel.
You know, your 1-minute jewel, something that will help other filmmakers to encourage them and give them a perspective they may not have seen. Especially the good thing is we were talking about a docuseries, right? And you know, we often as filmmakers look more at narratives, because one of the things, and I'm gonna say this real quick before we do that, one of the things I had a conversation with someone who wanted to do a documentary about something, and I said, you know what, I understand, but when you do a documentary, you got to know your audience. You got to be very specific, you know, because everybody doesn't watch documentaries. You know, it's also how you're gonna style your documentary, because that's another thing people don't often think of. Documentaries, you have to have some sort of style to it. So that's very creative. And so I always say, have you watched other documentaries? You know, and because some parts will be like, man, I fell asleep on some of those. They're boring. I said, see, that you're sitting there trying to make a documentary, but you talk about you fell asleep on some because they're boring. Yeah. What would you do different? And I often tell them certain documentaries they should watch, but I was like, hey, for your project, maybe what you should do is a feature film about it. Even though with the hair thing, that's out there, so you don't have to ever worry about that. But I was telling them, do a feature film or a short, and then have a documentary to it. And then that'll bring up your documentary. I often tell some people that since they understand that, they're like, yeah, because I need something exciting. It depends on your topic, but knowing your audience is that key. That's right there. Yeah. But a 1 minute jewel that you want to drop to tell people perspective to help them in filmmaking, something even something that you learned.
Ladies first.
For me, you're an extra storyteller. So, you know, you really control how you tell the story, and just try to tell the story to the best of your ability, and understand from the beginning, what is it that you want the audience to get out of that story?
Oh, amen. Yeah. Thank you. That's a jewel right there.
I would say, especially for people that may be starting out and maybe getting a little frustrated, you know, there's a lot of moving parts to making any type of content, whether it be a film or a documentary or just a YouTube video. I mean, you know, a lot of us come into this thing, we see something, oh, it looks nice and shiny and easy, and then you step a foot into it and you start sinking, and you're like, wait a minute, nobody's around to help me out here. So, you know, research, read, get involved. Like you said, you know, if you want to make a documentary, I may have watched 100 documentaries since I've started on this project. I've watched, you know, numerous docuseries, different types of, you know, documentaries, verite, exploratory. You know, I did the Ken Burns masterclass.
Oh wow! Yeah.
You know, so you know, just putting that time into it, and I always remember, you know, if something's not working, you can't change what's around you, but you can change what's around you. It may take a couple of times to say that to yourself before, you know.
No, like, absolutely.
I'll make a quick example. You know, if you're standing in a group of people and they're not feeding you, or they're not challenging you, or they're not kind of getting to you, you can't do anything to change how that energy is. But you can simply move across the street, and you can change how that energy is.
Yeah.
You know,
you can't change people, how other people think of that behavior, but you can change your settings to be around the people who are the type of people you need that bring that energy to you. And it's, filmmakers need that. Like, get around filmmakers who aren't negative, but in a positive, who will uplift you and help you improve your work. You know, we often get stuck with people and worrying about their opinions about somebody else's work. That don't even matter.
Yeah.
Like it's, you know, talk to people who are going to help you improve your work and your style, and challenge one another. You know,
and I always be willing to go back. Like Mike was talking about, you know, the documentaries that we watch, we do, you know, a lot of, you know, background, because we want to be, you know, great at what we do. And that starts with people who have done things before. You can always look and learn of what you don't want it to look like versus what you want it to look like. So never be afraid to go back. You always have to be open, because creative wise, you never know where you're going to get inspired from. So you have to be open to everything.
Right. Definitely.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh,
that is definitely true.
So those are some awesome jewels, man. I don't even got no jewels to drop. What you got, TK?
Rest. Take your rest breaks. I mean, so they always like, oh, I'll sleep when I die and I'll rest then. And I'm like, you have got to rest. One time, a few years into writing, I got burned out. I couldn't write a sentence for like 3-4 months. I couldn't write one sentence. Yeah, I was like, and that's when I was like, wait a minute, this is crazy. But yeah, take your rest breaks, take your rest breaks. Let your body, your mind refresh, and then you come back, you come back hitting it hard, versus just trying to put up what you can, trying to push your way through it instead of taking that break and coming back refreshed. That's my jewel.
There you go, TK's jewel.
That's
refreshed.
That's the jewel.
So change your setting, change your people, right? Go back and learn and study.
And I just wanted to say one last thing before we got off. I wanted to give a shout out to a couple of people on our crew that really were instrumental in helping us here. Kevin Tillett and Adrian Neely.
Oh, Adrian was on here too. He was hanging out.
Yeah, Adrian was there. He probably still here.
Say what's up, bro. I want to give a shout out to Tony, Derek, Thomas, Adrian, of course, Jacoby, Jason, Darrell, everybody who's been joining us for the Black Filmmakers Lounge. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. We thank you for constantly giving us your Saturdays. We know the summer months start getting a little slow for us, and not slow, but vacation-y for us.
Mm-hmm.
So, things are going to happen, and we're going to, you'll see us twice in July, but we're going to be here for most of the month of June. But we just want to thank you guys for joining us and being a part of the Black Filmmakers Lounge. We look forward to sharing more information with you, and definitely bringing Michael and Tasha back to talk about where they at now, where they at in the future, what's going on, and how things go.
We'll love to come back. And one last shout out. I didn't want to forget this person. Shout out to M. Legend Brown. He's been a very tremendous help to us with this process, and a good coach and mentor along the way.
Oh, that's awesome. And there you go. You know what? I have a gem, but my jewel is, as I always say, find a mentor. Find somebody to guide you through your film process, and work with you and give you a better understanding. Probably all of us have mentors on here, so it's good to have good mentors. And Christopher Nolan is a great mentor. We don't get to talk as much, but we talk, and that brother helps me out a lot. So M. Legend Brown was on the show. Lot of great information. Go back if you haven't watched that episode of the Black Filmmakers. Let's go back and watch that and hear what he's talking about, because they just finished a project. TK was on for the last couple of weeks, right? Shot in 7 days, right? 7 days.
Wow, 7 days. Go, TK.
That's silly. Hey, find a mentor. If you don't do anything, find a mentor that will guide you through filming. I mean, and study this craft, because it's necessary.
Absolutely.
So we appreciate you all. We thank you. And I'm going to take you guys out. But as I'm about to say, we enjoy that you've been hanging out with the Black Filmmakers Lounge Saturday morning in the industry shop talk. Oh, by the way, remember to be strategic, intentional, and authentic. That's what it's about. So we thank you. Like, subscribe, share. Put this on your page. Tell your friends, your family about it. You got a youth who wants to get into filmmaking, share this with them, and join the Black Filmmakers Lounge community. Don't forget to answer all the questions and agree to the rules, because if you don't, you will be declined. Sorry, but that's how they do it. I'm not the only person watching. We love y'all, and peace.
Like, subscribe, share.
Like, subscribe, share. By the way, Lewis, we love you, brother. Sorry you could be on today. Do your thing. Go check out the El Duval Experience. Go have an experience. New podcast dropped yesterday. Go check it out today. And peace.